Welcome to you, my name's Dayle and this is Dayle's Addiction. Today on Dayle Downloads, Ep.5, I want to bring to you the top 6 luxury mindsets, the things that motivate you to buy luxury. And I'm going to list them off in order that I believe are least healthy to most healthy. Now, health is a subjective term when it comes to luxury shopping. However, what I'm talking about here is what's best for you, what's best for me as an individual, in my opinion. So, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist. This in no way comes from a medical perspective. So at number 6, what I believe is the least healthy motivator for purchasing luxury is the keeping up with the Joneses motivator. Keeping up with the Joneses, if you're not familiar, is basically looking over the neighbour's fence, seeing what they've got and getting the same or better. So that in your own mind, you feel like you're keeping up, that you're not being left behind, that you feel like you're achieving at the same pace that your neighbours are. Now, in a luxury context, this one I believe is the most unhealthy because it is less about you and more about other people and what you think other people think about you, and you don't even know what other people think of you. In fact, as Dr. Phil said, it's none of your business what other people think about you. If you're buying luxury just to keep up with the Joneses, chances are it's not something that really speaks to you. It only speaks to you because it gives you some kind of belonging. It gives you some kind of community feel that you're a part of something that nobody even knows exists besides you. And when the Joneses move on, or maybe they move out of the street, what do you do with all the stuff that you bought to keep up? Number 5, buying luxury because it's a status symbol. Now, in the luxury YouTube community, there's been lots of debates going on about, is the Birkin a status symbol, and is quiet luxury mean that you're more affluent than if you buy loud luxury logos and the like? Status symbols, again, are a dangerous thing, especially if you're buying them for status, because the status is not guaranteed. As we know, there are lots of people that have fancy things that we don't really put on a pedestal for who they are as a human being. The things don't really change anything. They might give you a sense of accomplishment, they might give you a sense of confidence, but status is not something that you can buy. Status is something that other people give you, and they give it to you through how they respond to you, what entitlements that you have, and how people, support or follow what it is that you're doing in the world. Status can be really divisive, and I think if you're buying into things for status, it's not great for your own personal health, because if you don't get that status in return for what you've spent your money on, then what impact does that have to your personal state of well-being? Number 4, what's in fashion? This is a tough one, and given that there are only 6, and this one falls at number 4, this is something that I think a lot of us fall for, and probably more so in our younger years and our older years, unless of course we work in fashion or we're a content creator, for example, and we want to get the clicks because we want to have the things that everybody's looking at. So buying what's in fashion, why would that motivate you? Well, because it's of the now. You're seeing it everywhere. It's saturated through social media. It's on all the platforms. You might see it out and about if you live in a city. People are talking about these particular items, and that's what marketing does. It just creeps up on you, and all of a sudden you think you've got to have it. And then that passes and something else comes along, and all of a sudden you're left with things that you just don't have a connection to. They were of a time. And of course, just like driving a brand new car out of the car yard, the value that they had when you took them out of the boutique compared to when you want to sell them because that trend is over is significantly different. And that's okay if you really, really love an item. But if your motivator was to purchase it just because it's in fashion, it's probably not the most healthy choice you could make. And now we're getting into the top 3 more healthy motivators of why you might buy luxury. And that is that you are just divergent. You're a super divergent person. There is no rhyme or reason for why you purchase things. They just make your heart sing. You love a random pigeon bag that's printed from a 3D printer. You love a nano bag that fits nothing but your patience in it. Things that just click with you for no rhyme or reason, no functional purpose, they make you happy. You're not buying them as an investment. You're not buying them for status. You're not buying them because you're keeping up with the Joneses. You're buying them because something in that particular design, fabric, colour, whatever it is, struck a chord with you, and it makes you happy and it makes you smile. And I think happiness and smiles are great for our health. Number 2, let's get practical. We're looking at function now. If one of your luxury purchasing motivators is function, then this is an area where I guess you're getting bang for your buck. You're probably doing a lot of research. You know exactly what you need to purchase this bag for. In addition to that, you know how you're going to carry that bag. You're going to know what material that you want to buy the bag in, the capacity that it needs to fit, all of those sorts of things, whether it needs to be more subtle or whether you can have a bit of personality with this bag. Function is probably, should be at number 1, but my number 1 luxury motivator is not function. Probably doesn't surprise you. For me, the number 1 luxury motivator, the healthiest reason for purchasing luxury and spending your hard-earned cash on these pieces that basically just carry your stuff around, is because it fits with your personal style. This is a really hard one, and I'm still figuring out what my personal style is too, but I did a course last year and I loved it. It really helped me to unpack what my personal style is, and I think even having done Instagram and YouTube now for the past kind of 3 or 4 years and seeing my style evolve, it's become more concise. The silhouettes that I look at, the colours that I look at, everything basically that I look at now comes down to this definable style. And for me, it's about being playful with, well, it's just about being playful, really, full stop. That I love fabrics, that I love feminine things. I love juxtaposing feminine things with more masculine, androgynous styles. I love oversized pieces. I basically love what I've called done but undone, where something's amiss, where something doesn't quite belong. That's what gives it that playful edge. That's what makes it me, in my opinion. And so when you're shopping with personal style as your motivator, it will influence the color of the pieces that you buy, the styles, how you carry them. And if you haven't seen my recent video on the handbag code, check that one out for all the different ways you might carry your luxury handbags and what it says about you. The fabrics and materials that you use. Your personal style is the thing that really is uniquely true to you. And therefore, if you're going to be investing heavily in luxury pieces, they should fit into your personal style. These are not things that you want to see in a wardrobe detox, like I've recently done, going in a garbage bag to St. Vinny's, or constantly having to sell and move things on because they don't fit. Definitely sell and move things on if you want to buy other things, and that's how you're going to fund your purchases. But when you find that you're buying a lot of things that don't really fit with your personal style, it's probably telling that you don't know what your personal style is. And so one of the great things about doing a course like I did was that I'm getting closer to figuring that out, and I'm less likely to make some of those errors. Tell me, which of these 6 motivators do you commonly fall into? Let me recap those for you. Are you at the keeping up with the Joneses? Are you buying for status? Are you buying what's in fashion? Are you just buying whatever you love and whatever strikes you in the heart? So that divergent motivation. Are you shopping for function? Are you a very practical, research-based shopper? Or are you shopping for personal style? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. For me, it's a work in progress. I think I pretty much operate on the top 3. So divergent, function, personal style. But it's a constant battle, and I really enjoy just casting that net really wide and seeing what I can catch. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I put out long format videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, and sometimes some extras. I would love to see you back here. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Until my next video, ciao!